Hi guys, Patrice here from Pixina Studio, and today I would like to do a video tour on one of our most popular scripts, and that is GigToDo Script. Now, GigToDo Script is a freelance marketplace script. Now, I know some of you guys might be wondering what a freelance marketplace script is. Well, a freelance marketplace script is a script or website where users in search of a particular skill go on there to search and hire that skill. Let me give an example. Mary is in search of an experienced PHP developer to help her fix a couple of bugs on her PHP website. So what does Mary do? Mary searches for a freelance marketplace website just like GigToDo Script. Once Mary finds that website, she goes to the search bar and searches for PHP developers. Now, Mary has decided to choose her developer based on the number of good reviews that developer has and the number of orders that developer has delivered. Once Mary finds a good PHP developer, she goes ahead and hires that developer's gig or proposal. Once that developer has completed Mary's order, he or she delivers that order to Mary. And if Mary is happy with the order, Mary is going to complete that order by rating that developer 5 stars. Let's talk about another example. James just started a new business and James needs new business card designs for his new business card. So what does James do? James does exactly like Mary. He searches for a freelance marketplace website just like GigToDo Script. Once James finds that website, he goes on there and searches for graphic designer. Then he hires that graphic designer, and once that graphic designer completes James's work, he or she then delivers that order to James. And if James is happy with the work, James rates that designer 5 stars as well. So that's kind of like a brief overview of what a freelance marketplace website is. So again, GigToDo Script is a freelance marketplace script, and it comes with a lot of features to allow anyone start and run a successful freelance marketplace business. So now the reason I'm doing this video is because a lot of you guys have asked me a lot of questions about the different features on GigToDo Script, and I know a lot of you guys are just curious on how the entire thing works. So I'm hoping that this video touches on some of those answers that you guys are searching for. So right here we're on GigToDo Script's marketing website. If you're just looking for more information about the different features on GigToDo Script, I do recommend coming to this website. So let's go ahead and demo this project. So on this page we've added a couple of user accounts, a couple of admin accounts, and a couple of test cards. So you can actually use any of these credentials to test on the demo website. However, I do recommend that you create an account on the demo website in order to experience the entire process. So let's go ahead and launch the website demo as well as launch the admin panel demo, because we're going to do a video tour on the admin panel as well. So once you guys purchase the GigToDo Script, you're going to receive a website exactly like this. As you can notice, some things have already been preloaded in, like the categories, the sliders, the proposal cards, and so on and so forth. Again, you can change all these items from the admin panel. So right here, if we hover on the main category, it reveals another menu with subcategories. Let's go ahead and click on the main category. This actually takes us to a page that contains proposals that are based on this category. Now, other freelance marketplace websites like Fiverr call theirs gigs. But since gigs is trademarked to Fiverr, we're going to call ours proposals. But proposals and gigs are essentially the exact same thing. You can actually filter the proposals here based on the subcategories, or you can change all the proposals here by clicking on a new category. You can also filter proposals by showing those proposals that have their sellers online right now, or filter based on delivery time, seller level, and seller language. Let's go back to the home page. So below the category, we have sliders. So now you can add as many sliders as you want, and you can also change this text right from the admin panel. Below the slider, we have proposal cards. You can edit this section in the admin panel as well. You can change the text, change the image, as well as edit the URL link. So a proposal card can lead to a category page or can lead to an external link. Below the proposal card, we have a section for the main categories with different icons. Again, you can edit this from the admin panel. Below that, we have a section for marketing purposes. So you can change the text, you can change the image, and just make the website look more presentable to potential customers. So below that section, we have a section for top featured proposals. Now, we created a system whereby users can actually pay to have their proposals featured for a couple of days. So once that user pays to feature his or her proposal, that proposal is going to actually appear on different spots on the website. So now that we've done a quick tour on the front end, let's go ahead and sign in. Now with the GigToDo script, users can actually create accounts or sign in with their Facebook and Google accounts. Let's go ahead and sign in as Pat. So once you log into the GigToDo script, this is the home page you're gonna see. At the top, we see another slider that can be edited from the admin panel. Below that, we see another section for featured proposals. Again, users have to pay to feature their proposals for a couple of days, and the amount and days are being determined by the admin in the admin panel. So clicking on View All opens up a page with all the featured proposals on GigToDo script. You can actually filter this based on the sellers that are online or just based on the categories or the delivery time and so on and so forth. Let's go back to the home page. Below featured proposals, we have a section for top proposals. Now, this section is being configured in the admin panel, and this section is usually based on two criteria, and that is the amount of orders that proposal has had and the amount of good reviews that proposal has had. And by reviews, I actually mean ratings. So you actually configure this section from the admin panel, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So below that, we have a section for random proposals. So basically, each time you refresh this page, this is going to be different. Also, clicking on View All just opens up a page with all the proposals on there. Below that, we have a section for buyer request. Now, in order to explain this section, I'm going to explain what a freelance marketplace script is again. So a freelance marketplace script is a website where users in search of a particular skill go on there to search for that skill and hire that skill. So some users might not particularly see all the proposals they're looking for, so they might just decide to post their project details on the website and have other sellers contact them. So clicking on post a request takes the user to a page where the user types out the project details for that proposal. The user chooses a category related to that proposal. So the category can be based on graphic designs, digital marketing, programming and tech, whatever. So the user has to choose a category based on that project. Then after the user chooses the number of days the user wants the project to be done in and the budget the user has and submits that request. So this section right here, sellers see all the requests that are based on categories that they have proposals on. So now I'm going to explain this in an example because I've had a lot of questions about this section right here. So take for example Pat. Pat has a project and Pat wants an experienced seller to help him with that project. So Pat clicks on post the request, then Pat fills out the project details and chooses maybe programming and tech as the category for that project since the project has to do with programming and tech. So all the sellers on the GigToDo platform that have proposals related to programming and tech will see that Pat's request because that request is related to that category. The reason we did that like that is because we wanted all requests to to in front of the right sellers. So basically, a seller who has proposals only in graphics and designs will not see requests that are based on a category, programming and tech. Again, this is just because we wanted all requests to appear in front of sellers who can actually do those requests. So as you can see, Jess is looking for an experienced PHP developer, and since Pat has a proposal under programming and tech, he's able to see that request just because he has a proposal on that category. So if Pat sees this request right here and he wants to take the request and he thinks he can do it, he can actually click on send offer and actually send an offer to Jess. So basically, sending an offer is pretty much Pat telling Jess that he can do that request and he wants Jess to pick him. So on the system, a buyer can actually have multiple requests from different sellers. So now that I'm hoping that you guys have understood what that means, let's go ahead and click load more. So clicking on this opens up a page with more requests. So as you can see, this request shows up right here. Now another thing I want to mention is that every seller can send only 10 offers per 24 hours. So in one day, a seller can only send 10 offers to buyer requests. So take for example, if there are like 30 requests right here, Pat is able to send only 10 offers to 10 of those requests. So right now, Pat has just 9 left just because he sent one earlier. So take for example, Pat has gone through this request, and again, this request is based on this main category and this subcategory. So Pat has a proposal under those categories, and that's why he's able to see this request. So take for example, Pat has read the request details and he's able to do this request. So what Pat will do is Pat will click on send offer and this pop-up box appears. Now Pat obviously has more proposals. Pat has about 8 different proposals. However, Pat has just one proposal under the category programming and tech. And since Pat has just one proposal under that category, just that one proposal appears here. If Pat had more proposals under the category programming and tech and web programming, then all those categories will appear here. But since he has just one, that's why this one appears right here. Again, I'm trying to explain this as much as I can just because a lot of the questions that I receive are based on this. So now, since Pat has clicked on send offer, he then clicks on this proposal. Again, this is Pat's proposal and this is Jesse's offer. So Pat clicks on that and he clicks on continue. Now in this section right here, Pat essentially writes out his pitch. So Pat can say, I can handle this project. Please choose me. The reason I put please choose me is because Jess might receive thousands of requests from different sellers. So basically, when Jess receives an offer from a seller, again, an offer is just, this is an offer right here. We're about to send this offer. And when Jess sees this offer, Jess might choose to check out Pat's profile and see if Pat has good reviews, good ratings. So now, right here, Pat essentially writes out his pitch. Now, this section right here shows the amount of days Jess wants this project to be completed. If Pat can reach out these 7 days, if he can do it in 7 days, he then chooses here 7 days. Or if Pat cannot do it in 7 days, he chooses more or less. So now, Jess's budget is $200. If that works perfectly for Pat, Pat can type out $200. Or if Pat sees a lot of offers here, Pat might decide to, I can do this for $150. But right now, there's no offer from any other seller. So let's do 200, or maybe $250. So we send offer. So the offer has been sent. Now if you watch this, this goes down to 8 offers because every seller has just 10 offers to send per day, so per 24 hours. So this section here just shows all the buyer requests, and this section here shows all the offers Pat has sent. So Pat, this is the recent offer Pat just sent to Jess. So this section just kind of records all the logs of all the offers Pat has sent and all the active buyer requests that on the system based on the categories that Pat has proposals under. So let's go back to the home page. Now that we've explained a little bit more about buyer requests, let's talk about this section right here. So this section contains the 5 most recent proposals that Pat purchased. So again, they're in the form of a slider, and Pat can easily just click on one of the proposals and order it again. Below that, we have the same functionality but for recently viewed. Now all these proposals are, this shows the top 5 proposals, the top most recent 5 proposals that Pat viewed. And again, Pat can easily just click on there and order that proposal. This section right here is for marketing purposes. You know, just to get users who have particular skills to actually create proposals. Now, another question I get a lot from different customers or potential customers is that what is the difference between a buyer and the seller on GigToDoScript? Now, everyone starts as a user on GigToDoScript. Once you create an account, you're automatically a user. And now what distinguishes a buyer from a seller is proposals. Now, once a user creates a proposal and that proposal is approved by the admin, that user automatically becomes a seller. So that's kind of what separates a buyer and a seller. Sellers have extra things like only sellers can see buyer requests. If you don't have a proposal, which means you're not a seller, you're not even going to see this section at all. So right here, this is just a model that just convinces users with particular skills to actually create proposals. So if we click on get started, it's going to take us to a page that kind of like just tries to convince us to create a proposal, and we can easily just create a proposal by clicking create a proposal. So let's go back to the home page. So now that we're done with this home page, let's talk about a proposal. So right here, this is a proposal box, and on the box we have the proposal image, we have the name of the seller, we have the seller level. So on this system, sellers are on different levels. So once you create an account, once you create a proposal, you're a new seller. That's your level right there. Then you can upgrade now to level 1, then upgrade now to top rated seller. So again, these are criteria that are all set by the admin in the admin panel, and this is all based on the number of orders you've had and the number of good ratings you've had. So right here, Jess is a level 1 seller. She's not a new seller because she's actually had people order some of her proposals. So this proposal box has the image, the proposal image, the name of the seller level, the name, the title of that proposal, the reviews for that proposal, and if the seller is online or offline. If the seller is offline, then it's just gonna be empty, just like this right here. So now this section is affiliate link. So I'm going to explain a little bit more with an example for this, just because a lot of questions too have come through because of this feature right here. Then right here we have the favorites. So clicking on this actually just adds to your favorite page, and clicking on it again just removes it from your favorite page. So again, this is real time, so clicking on this just adds it right away, and clicking on it just removes it from there. Then right here we have starting at $20. So now some proposals have different packages, and when you see a proposal with starting at $20, that's the cheapest in the package. So that's the basic price. So now let's talk about affiliate link. Now Jess Not every not every seller chooses to configure an affiliate link, and the way a seller configures this is during the process of creating a proposal. Now I'm going to show you guys how to do that, but let me explain a little bit more about it. So now, just while creating this proposal right here, she decided to give an opportunity for other users on the platform to make money through her proposal. How does that work? So if you click on here, it's going to open up this pop-up box, and it says for anyone who shares this unique link and have other people purchase this proposal through this unique link, that person is going to earn 20% of that proposal price. So now let me give an example. Pat, which is me, Pat is looking to make extra money on the GigToDo platform. So Pat now sees that Jess has an opportunity to make money. So Pat now can click on this affiliate link and copy this link right here and paste it on his profile page. So let's say James, which is Pat's friend, clicks on this unique link from Pat's Facebook profile and comes to the website and purchases Jesse's proposal. Then Pat is going to receive 20% of $20, and that's because James used that unique link to purchase that proposal. Let me explain it again in other words. So Pat again comes to his homepage and discovers that Jess has an affiliate link on her proposal. And so since Pat is trying to make extra money, he clicks on that affiliate link, copies that affiliate unique link, posts it on his Facebook page. Then his friend, say James, clicks on that affiliate link and purchases Jess's proposal. So since James clicked on this link from Pat is going to earn 20% of $20 just because James clicked on that link and purchased this proposal. However, Pat just doesn't receive the money right away until the admin has approved that affiliate link, until the admin has approved the transaction. So I'm going to show you more about it once we get to that section, but that's just kind of how it works. So now on this page, we spoke about some stuff like the real time, like how you click on this and it just pops up right here. There's another fancy feature we added on GigToDoScript, which is the real time notifications and real time messaging. So I'm going to go to another computer and I'm going to send Pat a message, and you're going to see what's going to happen from here. So what's going to happen is a message is going to slide in from right to left from the bottom section right here, and it's going to make a sound. So just pay close attention. So on my other computer, I'm going to send a message to Pat from Jess. So if you notice, this popped out and it says hello. So we added this feature because we had a lot of customers ask us that they wanted some kind of real-time way of them knowing when someone sends them a message. So this is what we came up with. So when any other user on the platform sends a user a message, that user comes in right away, so you don't have to refresh your page. Everything is real time. So let's try that again, and this is what pops out. And if you click on this message, it's gonna open up this section right here. And don't worry, we're gonna talk more about the message area. So let's go back to the home page. And again, as you guys noticed, there was a sound. You can actually turn on and turn off that sound from the account settings. So if you listen closely, you heard that sound. So you can actually turn on and turn off that sound, and you can receive this notification once you receive an order. Once your order has been delivered, you're gonna receive a sound, and you're gonna receive a message pop up from here. Alright guys, now that we've talked a little bit about the home page right here, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the different headers. So if you notice right here, we have these headers. This header here contains the different main categories. Again, when you hover on a category, it reveals the subcategories. Right here we have the icon for dashboard. Here we have notifications, and again it's going to just show you the top most recent 4 notifications. This section right here shows you the top most recent messages, and this section right here, if you click on this, it's going to take you to a favorites page. If you click on this right here, it reveals another menu. So now when you click on dashboard, if you notice, the menu is going to change. The top header menu right here is going to change. As you can see, it changed, and this is just because once you click on dashboard, everything changes. You're getting more into business. So right here you kind of see like a quick summary of what's going on the entire site, and this is really useful. This section right here is really useful if you're a seller on the platform. So here, as you can see orders completed, delivered orders, and so on and so forth. Again, here you see the most recent notifications and the most recent messages. Right here you see all those users that have purchased from you, and you see all those sellers from you have purchased from, and just clicking on this just opens up your chat or opens up their profile page. Under here, there's another section to kind of convince users to create a proposal on the platform. I mean, if you think about it, if you see this section right here, buyers are just gonna see 0, 0, 0, 0 if they have no proposal. So if they see that and they see this is gonna encourage them to create a proposal on the platform. Now, it's really good to encourage more people to create more proposals on your platform so you can get as many buyers on the platform as possible. So now let's talk about the different tabs up here. This tab is solely for people who have proposals on the platform. So basically this is only for the sellers. This is not going to be useful for people who don't have any proposal on this platform. So if you're just a buyer and just a user, this is not going to make any sense to you. However, this section is for buyers and for sellers. So let's start with this section right here. So let's click on orders. So Pat is a seller on the platform, and clicking on selling and clicking on orders, these are all the orders Pat has received. So as a seller, you have a whole section to manage everything. So clicking on orders just reveals a page with all the orders you've had. So now this page now has different tabs that you can filter through the orders. Then you also have a section here called this status, where you can see kind of like what's going on with that order. So if we click on here, we can see that this is an order we delivered. So Pat delivered this order. So Pat has a proposal that has to do with Photoshop editing. So Photoshop editing, Pat, if we click on this, so you can see Jess ordered Pat's proposal, which was Photoshop editing. So if we go back to this, if we go back to orders and go back to deliver, we discovered that so someone gave an order, and that order was Jess, and so Pat did that order and he delivered the order. So as you can see, if you notice from here, if you notice, this is a top bar that kind of talks a little bit about the order. So this just says this order has been delivered. So here I'm gonna talk more about the order pages, but I'm just kind of like just giving a brief summary of the different items on the seller tab. So let's go back to orders. So now I have received some questions about what is the difference between delivered orders and completed orders. Now the difference between a delivered order is an order that a seller, say Pat, completed that order and he delivered it. So Pat completed Photoshop editing and he delivered this order, as you can see, and he can deliver the order again. So now the difference between delivered order and completed order is that this one, Pat has just delivered the order, but Jess will have to rate the order in order to complete the order, because a seller doesn't receive payment for an order until the order has been completed by the buyer. So as you can see, this section, it says the buyer, which is Jess, has 3 days to complete this order, otherwise it's going to be automatically marked as completed. Again, we had to add this feature because we realized that sometimes not every buyer goes onto a delivered order and actually completes it by rating that order. So because of that, we set a feature in the admin panel where the admin can set a number of days where certain orders can autocomplete. So tomorrow this is going to show that 2 days are left for the order to be completed. So again, Pat delivered this order, and if Jess doesn't rate this order in 3 days, the order is going to be automatically marked as complete. So meaning the order is going to automatically transfer from here to completed. And again, if you notice, there's a different header here with the status delivered. Again, this section just kind of tells you something, it just tells you gives you a brief information about that particular order. So if Pat has a problem with this order, if Pat as a seller has a problem with this order, he can click on Resolution Center and choose a reason here why he's not, here he can pretty much write what the problem he has with the order or the problem he has with the buyer, and choose a general reason right from here. So let's go back to orders, and let's go now to completed orders. Again, completed orders are orders that the buyer has actually rated those orders. So the buyer has completed the orders by actually giving feedback, giving ratings for that order. So this order right here, Pat completed this order and he delivered the order, and the buyer, Alex, rated the order. So again, this section gives you kind of like a brief info about that order, and so it says the order is delivered and Pat earned $38, and here it shows completed. So here you can see the buyer was Alex buy, and you can see Pat delivered the order and Alex rated the order 5 stars. So Pat can also rate the order and he can also update the order. So right here I can see Pat just rated 1 star. So let's go ahead and rate 5 stars and update our review. So yep, updated. As you can see here, an order page kind of has a lot of details about the order. So it has the order number, which is very important. The order number is very important just because if there's a dispute between the buyer and the seller, the buyer can easily just, once the buyer is trying to open a customer support ticket with the admin, the buyer can submit this order number and the admin will easily find the order. So clicking on here just opens up that order. So just opens up that proposal for this. So pretty much this proposal right here. So if you click on this, it opens up the proposal page for this proposal. So let's go back to orders. So now let's go to cancel. So now this is pretty much self-explanatory. So basically, if a seller or buyer cancels a proposal, the money for that proposal will be refunded to the buyer. So right here, so let me go a little bit about what happened right here. So again, right here we kind of see what happened. So order canceled and payment has been refunded to buyer. So the status for that is canceled. So under here, Amit is the buyer, Pat is the seller, Amit is the buyer. So Amit sent a cancellation request. Again, sending a cancellation request, you have to click on Resolution Center and send that cancellation request. So Amit sent a cancellation request. However, that request came and was declined by Pat. So Pat, who was the seller, declined that cancellation request, because once the seller receives a cancellation request, the seller has the option to either accept that request or decline that request. So the seller, Pat, declined that request, and that's why it says cancellation request declined by seller. So now Amit wasn't satisfied, so he sent another cancellation request, and this time Pat, the seller, accepted that cancellation request, and that's why it says order cancelled by mutual agreement. So the system has different reasons why an order can be cancelled. So it can be cancelled, order can be cancelled by admin, and so on and so forth. So let's go back to orders. So again, we've gone through the orders real quick. There are more. Again, this video tutorial is not going to touch on every aspect about the script. I'm just going to try to touch on the most important parts. So again, here it shows you the statute, so you can kind of just know what's going on with the orders. And this section mostly is for sellers. So let's go now to the next thing, my proposals. So my proposals are pretty much my gigs, other freelance marketplace like Fiverr call theirs gigs, but here we call it proposals. So right here we kind of have all our active proposals. So these are all the proposals Pat has on the system. So by active proposals, it just means these proposals are actually live on the system. Paused proposals are proposals that Pat has, proposals that the seller has deactivated. So basically, if Pat doesn't want to offer services on this proposal right here, if Pat maybe doesn't want to offer services for this proposal at the moment, he can pause that proposal by deactivating the proposal. So if Pat deactivates this proposal, it's going to appear here under the pause proposals. And once a proposal is paused, it's not live on the system anymore. Only Pat can see this proposal. And if Pat wants to activate this proposal again, he just clicks on activate proposal, and this proposal is going to move from pause proposals to active proposal. So let's go ahead and activate this proposal. As you can see, this now is 0. Now, the reason we added this is because sometimes a seller can have a lot of proposals, and sometimes that seller might want to, pause, not actually delete proposals, but just want to pause some of them for some time. So the seller is going to click deactivate proposal, and that pauses the proposal. So that removes the proposal from the system. Now, I know some of you might say I'm explaining certain things too much, and that's just because based on the amount of questions I've had, I just want to touch on some of those, frequent questions. So once a proposal is paused, you can either activate the proposal or you can actually just delete it. So let's just activate this proposal. So now, pending proposals. Now, when you create a proposal and submit that proposal, the admin will have to approve that proposal. So before the admin approves that proposal is considered a pending proposal. So this proposal is not yet live on the system yet. However, the seller can actually preview that proposal, but no one else can see that proposal, only the seller. So once the admin approves this proposal, it's now going to go to active proposals, and everyone on the system can see that proposal. So require modifications again. So once a seller adds a proposal and the admin sees that proposal and the admin wants a certain thing changed on that proposal. So maybe the proposal's pictures are not good, or maybe the admin wants more information. The admin can just edit that in the back end and send to this seller right here. And like, for example, Pat created a proposal, Supreme Graphics. We can actually preview this. So this is a proposal Pat created. So he submitted this proposal, and the admin sent him a message that this proposal needs more information. So as you can see, requires modification. Please submit more information for this proposal. So what Pat can do is Pat can edit this proposal, and once Pat is done editing the proposal, he can now come and submit for approval. So once he submits this for approval, the admin can now go through the proposal, go through the modifications, and then choose to either approve the proposal, which will come to the active proposal, or decline the proposal, which will go to decline proposal. So decline is pretty much self-explanatory. So basically, if the admin declines the proposal, it's just going to appear here. So right here we have a section called vacation mode. So what is vacation mode? So vacation mode comes in handy when the seller has way too many orders. So when the seller is overbooked, or when the seller is actually on vacation and that seller doesn't want to receive orders anymore. So what the seller can do is the seller can click on this and choose a reason: I'm going on vacation or I'm overbooked, and then activate this. And once a seller turns on vacation mode or that seller's proposal, no one can order that seller's proposal. Other users can see the proposal, but they cannot order the proposal. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn on vacation mode for another seller, and we're gonna see how that works. So I'm gonna do it from my other computer. So I just turned on vacation mode for another seller called Jess. So now if you click on this proposal right here, as you can see, we cannot order this proposal because Jess is on vacation. So now until Jess turns off her vacation mode, this proposal will be impossible to order it. So another thing that can really tell a buyer if a seller has turned on vacation mode because of either the seller is overbooked or on vacation mode is this section right here. So if a buyer sees that a seller has 20 orders in queue, that buyer can now just know that this seller is overbooked, and that's why the seller turned on the vacation mode. So let me go ahead and turn it off. And now let's refresh this page. And now you can see we can order this proposal. Now I didn't really do a tour on proposals yet. I'm actually going to come back to this and do a tour on proposals. So let's go back to our dashboard. Let's go back to my proposals. So now, in order to add a new proposal, all you do is just click on Add New Proposal. Now, right here, you add your proposal title, choose the category. Once you choose a category, it's going to open up a subcategory. You choose a subcategory. You type in your proposal description. Now, this section right here, I'm going to explain a little bit more about it because a lot of you guys have asked me questions about this. So now this section is for instructions to buyers. So basically, if Pat creates a new proposal and writes in any text here, like if Pat, this is a section where he like take for example, Pat is creating a proposal based on fixing PHP bugs on people's PHP websites. So if in this section Pat types out, please provide cPanel details to get started. So now Pat has written this here. So if Pat publishes this proposal and some other users, say Jess, orders this proposal, the proposal's countdown is not going to start until Jess actually provides some information, until Jess replies to that order. However, if this is empty and Pat publishes this proposal and Jess orders this proposal, immediately as Jess orders the proposal, a countdown will start because there are no instructions, so the countdown starts. So the countdown doesn't start only when the seller puts out some kind of instruction here. So if the seller says, provide cPanel details. If Jess orders that proposal, she has to type out something on the order page for the countdown to start. So once she types it out, she hits send. That's when the countdown actually starts. So I hope that makes sense. So now Pat writes out the proposal description, writes out the instructions, the proposal tags. Then this is where Pat adds in an affiliate link. Now remember I told you guys about this right here. So again, you configure this from the proposal page. So basically, if you want other users to make money through your proposal, because in a way they're helping you market your proposal and you're paying them for that, so it's kind of like a win-win. So if you want to configure this for a proposal, all you gotta do is you set it right here. So enable referrals. So once you choose yes, this section you now choose how much you want to award a seller who copies the unique link, posts it on his or her social media account, and have other people use that unique link to purchase that proposal. So this is where you determine the amount that you want to award those people. So once you put that, then this section right here, add proposal image. So this is where you add the proposal image. So if we click on here and we choose an image, so right here you have a nice crop tool that helps you crop this image. Now the reason we added a crop tool is because we want all proposal boxes to look the same. So if you look here, I'm sorry for going back and forth, but in order to explain the different features I have to. So if you look here, you discover that all the proposal boxes are the same size, and that's just because all images are the same size and all the text here are the same length. If something is more, if something is more than a specified length, then it's just gonna cut off. So we have no examples there, but you guys get the point. So let me actually go ahead and open two tabs, sorry. So let's go ahead and go to my proposals. And click. So yeah, so right there, that's where you kind of, so no matter the size of your image, it's gonna try to crop it. It's gonna try to crop it, so it's gonna try to crop this image so it reaches this specification. So you can actually add 3 extra images. Then here, this is where you can add a video for the platform. So now the script comes with an HTML5 video player, so that allows users to actually add videos on the platform. However, if you want a more, I'm talking to the admins of the script, so if you want a more advanced, better video quality on your platform, then there's a section in the admin panel where you can actually go to W Player and create an account, then just copy a line of code there and just add to the admin panel. So I'm going to show you guys how that works in a little bit. So again, here you choose the number of days you want that, then you hit proceed to the next step, and this takes you to the next step. I'm actually going to show you the next step by actually just editing one of the proposals. So let's click on edit. So right here we filled this out. We added a video right here. Oh, sorry. So sometimes I'm getting some issues just because since we upload some stuff from localhost to live, sometimes some items like some proposals are not actually on the the SQL file, so they're not actually on the script, on the system. So that's when we click on it, the link is broken. That's not actually broken on like the empty script that you purchased. So let's go back to my proposals. Let's try to edit this proposal right here. Okay, so right here you can see a video right here. So we uploaded a video for this one, and you upload the video through this part right here. So this section right here, this is where you determine the proposal price for the proposal. So you can either have a fixed price, and you can have different packages, and this is where you add the attributes for the packages. So this section right here is where you can add extras. So basically you can have a proposal and you have, you know, extras for that proposal. Alright, so now that we're done with that, let's go back to my proposals. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing. So with the proposal description, you can actually open up the HTML editor and, you know, kind of just make your proposal description look better or nice, or you can use some of the items here to style your proposal description. So let's go back to my proposals. So now this action column right here, we can actually see more items. So like I said, we created a system where users can actually make their proposals featured. So simply by clicking make proposal featured, you can actually feature a proposal. So if you click make proposal featured, you know, the price and the day amount of days are being determined by the admin and the admin panel. So you can choose to pay with any of these payment methods. Then once you do, you just hit pay, which, you know, either if you choose PayPal, this is going to change to PayPal. So pay with PayPal, pay with credit card, or pay with Payza, or pay with credit card. You know, kind of you have different options for the different, you know, payment methods. So below that we have view referrals. Now remember I told you guys about this feature where, you know, you can share this on your social media account and so on and so forth. So in order for a seller to see the number of people who have actually shared their proposals, you know, shared their proposals unique link on different platforms and had other people purchase it, you know, a seller can actually click this right here, view referrals, and see all those, you know. So now this place is gonna actually record the successful one. So basically, you know, remember my example how I'll post this on my social media Facebook account, and James, you know, clicks on it and purchases this proposal. Then I get 20% of this $20. You know, if I do that, if Jess is a seller on this account, so take for example Jess, take for example Jess is a seller here. So Jess is gonna see my name here because I'm the one who, you know, shared that and on and so on and so forth. So here Pat sees all the people who shared his unique link and had other people, you know, purchase through that unique link. I hope this makes sense. And again, if this doesn't make sense, you can always contact us and I'll explain more. So let's go back to proposals. So, and the orders are pretty self-explanatory, so you can edit or delete a proposal. So now the next thing we should go to is, so we already talked about buyer requests, so we're gonna skip that. We're gonna go to revenues. So revenues, this just records all the payments we've received from, you know, all the payments we've received from the different orders. So now some of you guys have been asking me what pending clearance means. So basically, if a user purchases my proposal, so what happens is an order is going to open, and once I'm done with that order, I'm going to deliver that order. You know, technically the user already pays the amount for that proposal, and that amount is just pending clearance until you know the order is completed. So that's just kind of what pending clearance means. So basically, again, let me explain it in another way. So Jess purchases my proposal, and once I'm done with Jess's work, I then deliver this work or this order to Jess. And so Jess hasn't completed the order yet. So because of that, that time, that the amount for that order is still pending clearance until it's completed, and it reaches the number of days that it can now come be available for withdrawal. So that's kind of what pending clearance means. And this section right here, revenues just kind of show all the amount of money sellers receive from the platform, and they can always just click on it. Once you click on it, you kind of see where it happened. So see you earn this amount of money, and so on and so forth. So now in this section right here, you can actually withdraw some money or all the money to either your PayPal account, your mobile money account, or your Bitcoin wallet account, or your Bitcoin wallet address. So if we click on here, we choose the amount of money we want to withdraw. It can be whatever, and we just hit transfer. And the admin is going to see a withdrawal log of all those withdrawing from the platform. And again, you can do the same thing with your mobile money account as well as your Bitcoin account. So now we're done with the selling section. Now let's move over to the buying section. So buyers can be sellers and sellers can be buyers on the platform. So in this section, we're going to see all the orders Pat purchased. So all the proposals Pat purchased. So Pat obviously has a couple skills, but he doesn't know how to do everything. So for some things, he has to purchase from other people who can actually do it. He has to purchase proposals from other people. So right here, Pat purchased this order, this proposal. So if we click on this proposal right here, the seller is Tyrone. So Pat purchased Tyrone's proposal, and Tyrone's proposal is that he can make professional male voiceover. So now this proposal is late, which is not good. So what Pat can do is, if Pat is really angry, Pat can go to the resolution center, type out a message right here, then choose a reason. He can say order is late or choose whatever reason is here. Then hit submit cancellation request. So once Pat does that, Tyrone is going to receive the cancellation request, and he can either accept or decline it. If Pat sends it again, and Tyrone declines it, then Pat can go to customer support and then report this order. And I'm going to show you guys how that can work. So Pat can go on here. Actually, let's do that right now. Let's go to customer support. Because sometimes buyers can keep canceling the orders and the sellers might keep declining it. In that case, then you probably need to contact the admin. So if you come to the customer support page and maybe choose order support, so when you click on that, it's going to open a page where you write more about that. Then right here you have to copy the order number. You can either find it here or here. Copy the order number and you place that order number here. Then you choose if you're a buyer or seller. Then send this to the admin. So the admin has the power to cancel an entire order. So if the admin cancels the order, the seller cannot do anything about that. The money will just be refunded to the buyer. So that's kind of how it works. So again, here it just kind of shows you just kind of a short description of what's going on in this order right here. And as you can see, the order is still in progress just because the seller hasn't delivered the order yet. So let's go back to orders. So let's actually, let's see. Let's actually choose this order right here. So as you can see, this is another order, and this is the seller still is Tyrone. So now Tyrone is saying, if you don't give me 5 stars, he's not going to deliver the order. So in this kind of case, this is pretty annoying. We can actually report this particular message right here by just clicking on report, and choose whatever and write some more and submit report. And the admin is going to see this in the admin panel, just by clicking that. Or again, we can just go to the resolution center and try to cancel the order. So I mean, this is pretty rude. And again, this is where the countdown is, so it shows that the order is late. So there was a countdown here initially. I'm going to show you an order with a countdown, but once the order is late, this just says the order is late. So right here you can see that the Tyrone is offline. You can see his local time right here and stuff like that. So let's go back to orders. Let's go back to an order that has been delivered. So again, I'm the buyer. I'm just the buyer, and this is the buying tab right here. So right here, this is the seller is Jess, and this is the order number. And I had a chat with Jess. Again, you can actually report any item that Jess says. If it's inappropriate, you can actually just click on that and report it. So now Jess delivered the order, and it says you have 3 days. So it's telling me that the system is telling me that I have 3 days to complete this order, or else it's going to be marked as completed. So I can rate this order, or I can request a revision. If I click on request a revision, then I'm gonna type it out. You guys have seen how a review works. So let's see how request a revision works. So let's say flyer or something. Then maybe we include this with more information. Then we submit request. So Jess is gonna receive this. Jess is gonna receive this, revision requested by Pat, and again Pat, which is me. So she's gonna receive this, and she will have to do the work, then order again. So now right here, as you can see, like I said, this is just kind of tells you what's going on with this order. So now it's updated to revision requested. So yeah. So let's go back to orders. And we can go now to completed orders. So now right here it says delivery submitted. Again, like I said, this tells you what's going on. So it says delivery submitted. Since I'm not a seller for this one, the seller is Jess, it doesn't show me any amount. It just tells me delivery submitted and completed. And I can update my ratings actually. So I can update that. Oh, I actually forgot to do 5 stars. So alright, so that's good. So now let's go back to orders. And obviously you guys will know what canceled orders means. So it just says this has been canceled. Alright, now let's go ahead and go now to the next item, which is purchases. Now this item is more like an activity log, so it just kind of tells us the different things that happened on the platform. So basically, we deposited with our credit card, or we purchased a proposal with this and shows us the amount, and so we canceled. So now this records items. So when a seller, when an order is canceled, the amount is being refunded to the buyer, and this is all recorded in the purchases page. So as you can see, canceled order, payment refunded to shopping balance, and all this, the money is all refunded to the shopping balance, and the user can actually transfer this money to his or her PayPal account, or her mobile money, or her Bitcoin wallet address. So again, so once you see red, it just means it's a deduction. And once you see green, it just means you're receiving. So now let's go to the favorites page, which, this favorite page right here is the same as this page right here. So if I click on this, so it has all the proposals that I have in my favorites page. And if I have more than one, I can actually just add all of them to my cart. So I can add this to my cart. And this automatically adds this to my cart and removes it from here. So now here I can, if I have a coupon code, I can actually type that coupon code here. Like, let's say coupon. So the amount is $25 and the processing fee is $5. So if I try to apply this, maybe this is a wrong coupon code. Let's say if I apply, so this is wrong, so it says it's not valid. Let's try another one. So the amount is $20. So this actually worked, and this actually took out $2. So the coupon code system works perfectly, and you can actually set it up in the admin panel. So again, I'm touching on this because a lot of people were kind of wondering how it actually worked, the coupon system. So now that we have $18, we can now proceed to payment. So paying, if we pay with our shopping balance, we're not actually going to pay a processing fee. But if we pay with any of the other payment options, if we click on here, then we're going to have to pay a processing fee. And this fee is being determined by the admin in the admin panel. So if we click here, there's nothing. And we can always continue shopping. And this just takes us to the home page. So that's a little bit about the favorites page. So I've quickly gone through the selling and the buying tabs. You can actually play around with it a lot more. I'm just kind of doing a quick video tour. So now let's go to the next option. So we've talked a little bit about request, but we didn't talk about managing requests. So now we created a whole system for people to manage their requests. So basically, if you're more of a buyer who prefers to post your project details online and have sellers contact you, if you're just that kind of person, then this will work perfectly for you. We created a whole place where you can manage your requests. So these are all the requests Pat has submitted. So now here you can actually see all the active requests that are in the system right now, all the past requests. So basically, if there's a request that you've probably had a friend do it for you and you don't want, or there's a request that you don't need someone to do it right now, you can actually just pause it. You can pause it by just clicking on pause, and that's gonna send that request here. And once you hit pause, this request it's not gonna be live on the system anymore. So, and once you want that request back, you can just click on here and just activate or delete the request entirely. So now, pending approval, each time you create a request, that request has to be approved by the admin. So once the request is approved before the request is approved by the admin, the request is considered pending. It's pending for approval. So until the admin sees it and approves it, those requests are gonna appear here. Once the admin sees it and approves the request, it's gonna appear now in the active request section. But if the admin declines that request, it's gonna move now to the unapproved section. So let's go ahead. So now if we go to the action section, this place we're able to see all the offers. So remember how here I told you guys about sending an offer. Now Pat has a couple requests and he wants to view all the offers, because sellers have sent him a couple requests. Actually, just one seller has sent him an offer. Obviously, on a live system, you're probably gonna have a lot more people sending offers, but in order to view the offer, all you gotta do is go by the request and click on view offers. I forgot to mention on some of the spots, but everything is time stamped just to help you keep track of things. So let's click on view offers. So now this section right here tells you more about, this is the request Pat posted, Pat's budget and all that. So now this is one of the offers. So if there were more offers, then you're gonna see more blocks like this. So now Tyrone says he can handle it. So this is his pitch right here. You know, some people have a lot longer pitches, but his pitch is that I can handle it. And Tyrone is actually asking just for $10. His offer is just $10. You know, Pat requested $200, but Tyrone asked for just $10, and his duration is 3 days rather than 7 days. I mean, in a real website, this is actually gonna look too good to be true, and you probably don't want to take that, or I don't know. So right here it shows that Tyrone is actually offline. If you're a curious person, if you have a couple of offers, we added a section here where you can actually know more about that, you know, that seller by just clicking on the user profile. So if we click here, it's gonna open the user profile for Tyrone. So now this profile now has, you know, Tyrone's ratings, shows you where Tyrone is located, you know, shows you Tyrone's recent delivery, you know, when he joined the platform and what level he is. So he's not a new seller, so he's level 1, which is not too bad. Shows you what languages, what skills he has, you know, short description about him, shows you the different proposal Tyrone has. And now this section shows you in all the reviews Tyrone has. So this is going to contain the good and the bad reviews for every proposal. So this is just like the sum of all the reviews. And Tyrone and you can navigate this, you can filter this to show just the positive or the negative. But for now, they're all positive. So yeah, and if you like Tyrone, if you like what he's offering, you can easily just order it by clicking order now. Then this section shows you again, you know, the request. Then this section shows you Tyrone's pitch and, you know, what he's looking to get and the amount of days he's gonna do it for. Then you can actually pay with any of this payment method. So we can actually pay for this. And paying for this is we're just gonna click pay. Let's choose pay with shopping cart. And this now creates the order. Right here. So remember how I told you guys that, let me actually go there real quick. Let's go to my proposals. So again, sorry for going back and forth, but in order to really explain some of these things, I actually need to go to that other page. So this section right here where I said, you know, instructions to buyers, you know, like when you type something out here, the user has to respond to that order before the order countdown starts. So right here, the order doesn't start until I actually, you know, so this is what Tyrone wrote. So this section right here, so this right here, this is what appears here. So I need to reply to this before the order starts, so respond so the seller can start. However, if Tyrone didn't write anything, if Tyrone left this blank, the order will just start automatically. I'll not have to write anything. But since I have to write something, which is pretty much providing my website details, let's just type that, and you're gonna see how the order is gonna start. So right there, the order just started and the countdown started. So this was for 3 days, and that's why you have this countdown right here. So that's kind of how it works. Let me talk a little bit about this order page real quick. I think I explained a little some things. Like again, this you gotta, you know, keep track of this. You know, this kind of just tells you about the order. You know, here you have the seller name and all that. So yeah. So you can upload. You know, you can actually either choose to talk to Tyrone via inbox messages, or you can just send the messages for the order. It's always just easier to send messages on the order, just so you know the user keeps track of everything. So let's go back to, yeah, so we're done with manage request. So now let's go to post a request. So post a request is the same as this part right here. So this part right here, if you click on this, it's gonna reveal this page right here. So you can post a new, this where a user's post request. So you write the request title, the request description. Well, if you rather just upload a document that has all that inside, you can just upload that here. Then here, this is where you choose the category. Again, it's important. Again, once the user chooses a category, what happens is that request. Sorry, let's just go back to the home page here. So once the user chooses a category, that request is going to appear under the feed of all those sellers who have a proposal, you know, under that category. So that's why it's important to choose the categories. So you do that, then you choose the number of days and you choose your budget. So once the buyer does that, the buyer is going to post request, and this request has to be approved by the admin before it's live on the website. So this right here just kind of, you know, explains to the buyer what's going on with the different spots. So now we're done with our request. Let's go to contacts. So here, my contacts, you can see all your buyers' contacts. So all those buyers that have actually purchased from you, you see that right here. And all those sellers from whom you've purchased stuff from, you can see all of that here. And you can actually, you know, message them or open a history. So history is basically the item that seller purchased from you. So these are the different items Patricia purchased from me. So sales to Patricia, and clicking on this opens Patricia's profile. So let's go back. So, and the same thing with buyers. So clicking on here opens the history between. So in this case, Patricia was my seller. In this case, she was my buyer, and so I'm seeing the history. Okay, so that's a little bit about contacts. It's pretty much self-explanatory. So let's go now to the next thing. So now the system has two referral systems. So that we have the user referrals and the proposal referrals. So I explained to you about the proposal referrals. So I'm now gonna quickly go to proposals just to explain more about this one right here. Alright, so these are my proposals. So right here, these are my proposals. So the system has two proposal systems. So referral system, sorry. So this one right here is being determined by the admin. So the admin creates an amount whereby a user has to post this link on his or her social media or whatever platform, and have other users use that link, create an account, and order a proposal. So that one records here. This is a pretty popular one. Even Fiverr has this one. So basically the admin sets the amount for that. So yeah, this one is, so again, you know, all I have to do is copy this, post on a social media platform, and have other people use that link and, you know, create a an account on the website. And, you know, because of that, I'm gonna receive $5 if that happens. Proposal referrals, on the other hand, I did explain it, but right here, so if we go here, for these different proposals, I can just click on here and view referrals for that particular proposal. So if I created this proposal and I added an affiliate link, and, you know, right here I can see all the people who actually use that affiliate link by clicking this view referrals. However, this section right here, proposal referrals, shows me, for for all my proposals, so all my proposals combined. So I'm gonna explain this because I've gotten some questions about it. So this section right here, clicking on this and clicking on view referrals shows you just for that particular proposal, shows you the referrals, the successful referrals for that particular proposal. But the one right here shows you for every proposal, so it's just kind of like a summary of everything. And as you can see, Patricia earned $1.5 for referring one of my proposals, since she referred it and her friend purchased through that link, and so it was approved by the admin, and the admin declined this one. So that's kind of how the two proposal systems work. So now let's go now to the most important, one of the really exciting parts. I say it's most important because a lot of users, we had the message system. So we did. So this is the new one right here. So as you can see, if you click on here, it opens up, your chat between that Pat and that seller or that other user. So let's talk a little bit about this messaging area. So I'm gonna go to my other computer and actually go to that messaging section. Alright, so right here, so as it loads, let's talk a little bit about here. So there are several different things you can actually see on this page. Like you can see, so if you click on a user, you can see a few things. Like you can see the past orders between you and that user, your buying history and your selling history. You can also see information like the user's profile picture. You can see the user's level, if the user is a level 1 seller or whatever. You can see more stuff about that user. You can see if the user, what language the user speaks. Again, this is a lot of people didn't know about this, but actually once you click on a user, you can actually see your buying history and your selling history. So clicking on this just opens up the buying history between you and that seller. So unfortunately, Rank SEO has purchased no proposals from Pat, so that's why this section is empty. So let's go back. Let's go back to Rank SEO and let's click on selling history. So as you can see, Pat has purchased 4 different proposals from Rank SEO. So that section just kind of gives you a brief, summary between your relationship between that user and yourself. So now let's click on Jess. So by the side of each message, you see like a timestamp. So we've talked about this. Then here you can actually send emojis. So you can send emojis to the sellers, or to the buyers, or to the other users. So and you can do that by just simply, you have 2 options to send this. You can either choose to send it by just actually manually clicking send, or you can choose this option which allows you to just hit enter, and send your message. So another cool thing is if Jess is on the other section typing, you actually see that right here. So if she's typing, you actually see that Jess is typing. So let's go ahead and send Pat a message. So as you can see, we received a message from Jess. And right from here, you can actually choose to report if a message is inappropriate. You can actually report that particular message right here. Choose whatever and submit the report. Another cool thing is if you're talking with Jess and you actually want to send her like a custom order, because a lot of curious buyers for the script were asking if you can send custom quotes. You can actually do that from the messaging section. So right here you can create an offer, and this opens up all paths of proposals, and you can easily send an offer by just clicking on that and choosing go next. Then choose the number of days you think you're gonna do that, then choose how much, say $25, and hit submit offer. So now let's give that a second. So 1 second. So that actually just sent the offer, and I'm gonna show you guys in a second. So right here, so this is the offer, and Jess can choose to accept the offer or decline the offer. Let me go ahead and accept the offer from this section. So I'm actually working on both computers. So I'm being Jess on another computer and being Pat on this computer. So as you can see, immediately it shows that offer accepted. So as you can see, Jess accepted the offer and it immediately just updated here. So we can choose to actually go to the actual page. So clicking on here will take us directly to that order page. So again, as you can see, this is the message I wrote, and I can now, correspond with Jess here. So let's go back to inbox messages. Okay, another cool thing about this message system is attaching files. So I'm going to show you the interesting thing about it. So if we attach, say, that file, it's going to appear right here, and text. Actually, you cannot. I'm going to test that, but you can actually not send a file without anything. You have to actually write something while sending a file. That's kind of how we built it, just because we didn't want people just sending files. We wanted them to actually write something. So let's do, oh, here it is. Then send. So as you can see, with this message system, the person actually sees a preview of the file. So the person doesn't just, like, Jess doesn't just see like just the file name. She actually sees the a preview of how it looks like. Then she can download it. So that's the extra thing we added to the message area. Alright, so now let's talk about this section right here. So we can we have extra options right here. Like if I decide to start this message, so maybe I want to come back later and like revisit this message, so I can put a star on it or put an archive on it. So it just depends on me. So the difference between star and archive, so archive is when you're like actually saving some kind of thread of like certain kind of messages or something, but star is maybe you want to see this later or something. So it all depends on how you market it. So, and right here we can actually filter just to see those items that are starred and those items that are not starred. Now when you see a message with this kind of background, it just means it's been unread, so we haven't clicked. So if we click on that, as you can see, it all goes. And when you click on this, this shows that this is the actual one that is open right here. So if you see a message with a background, a grayed out background, it just means that that message hasn't been read yet. And once a certain message is active, it does have that gray background as well. So give me a second. All right, so let's go. Another interesting feature right here is you can actually search through username. So if we search rank, it's like instant. So if you have so many messages here, you can just search by username. That's about it with the message area. Also here you can kind of see the status for the different sellers or buyers or just users. You can see if the seller is online right now. You can see the seller's local time as well. All right, let's go back to let's go here just to access the top menu. So now we're done with inbox messages. So let's go now to notifications. So basically when you receive a notification, right here, clicking on this just sends that notification, right? Sends you to this page. And as you can see, this all have background just because we haven't, visited. It's on red, and you can see same here, it has a background just because it's on red. So if I click here and we go back to notifications, you can see the background now is white, and you can see here the background is white. So all those items that are on red have a background. So that's just kind of how it works. So here you kind of have all your notifications, and you can either delete them or just leave them there, and you can easily just click here and you can actually access directly from here as well. So now that's it with notifications. Now let's go to profile, and this is my profile. So this is what other users see when they click on my profile. So they see the different languages I speak. I speak fluent French and English. And me, I mean Pat. They see the different skills. All these items are actually loaded from the back end. The skills and the different languages. These are all loaded from the admin panel. So we can go ahead and cancel that. Cancel that. Then these are right here. I'm a top rated seller, so I see my seller level here, my recent delivery, and all that. Then here you see my different proposals, and I can just easily add a new proposal by clicking on this button right here. So right here I can see all my reviews. Again, these reviews are from all the proposals, all the orders have delivered. This section just contains like a summary of all those reviews, and I can filter them. I can choose the positive ones, which are the good ones, and the negative ones, which obviously are the bad ones. So yeah, that's it with my profile, and I can easily just change this cover right from here. So yeah. So I didn't talk about this section right here. So here we have all the main categories, and obviously we cannot really have all the categories on here because this is gonna be crowded. So we created an extra item, which is more, that just loads in the new categories. So now let's go to the next item, which is settings. So if we click on settings, so right here, these are the profile settings. So I can actually change my name and the basic profile stuff here. The next item is the account settings. So here I can add information like my PayPal email, my mobile money, items for withdrawing, so my Bitcoin wallet address, I can add that here. Then real-time notification. So you notice that each time I received the message, I always got a sound from the system. So if I don't like that sound, I can actually choose. If I choose no, then I'm not gonna get that sound. But if I want that sound, then I'll just leave it as it is, which is yes. So let's go back to yes. Alright, so below that we do have this section where we can actually put our sorry, let's go back to accounting settings. So yeah, so below that we have a place where we can change a password. Then this section is to deactivate accounts. However, I've received some questions about this, so I'm gonna explain a little bit about it. So the system is in a way that in order to, if you want to deactivate your account, you have to have zero, absolutely zero here. So you gotta withdraw all your money in order to deactivate your account. So once this is zero, then this option will be able to, you can another option is going to appear here that says choose a reason why you're deactivating your account. Then once you choose that reason, then this is not going to be grayed out anymore, so you can actually deactivate your account. And once you deactivate your account, it completely deletes from the database. So that's kind of how it works. So now guys, the last thing I would like to show you guys on the front end website is a proposal. I know I didn't touch on that, but I'm going to do that right here. So let's click on the proposal. So once you open up a proposal, the proposal, you see the proposal title, the number of orders in queue, and you see the proposal main category and the subcategory. So again, if you click on all this, it's just going to take you to a page with more proposals under that category. Right here you see an image or a video. So right now this is a video, and the background is actually the first image. So if you click on this, it opens up the video. So this is a social media promoter proposal. That's why you see this video right here. You can always enlarge it, you can skip, and this is because we have this extra functionality just because we're using GW player, which I do recommend that you add in. If you're purchasing the script, you just get a subscription there and implement it on your site, which is very easy. So now below that we have different packages. So these are the different packages for this proposal. So here, right here, this is actually my proposal, and that's why it says edit proposal. But if this was someone else's proposal, it's just gonna show buy now. And if I click on this is an extra right here. If I click on this extra, it just adds the price. So if this was someone else's proposal, I can share it, or I can share it since it's my proposal. So this just gives you a little bit about the seller, a little bit more information about the seller as well. Proposal description and the different ratings. So as you can see, this is where we had some of those ratings. Okay, so now let's actually look for a proposal that has a different seller. So Jess. So Jess has a fixed price. Unlike the previous proposal that had different packages, this one has a fixed price. So let's actually look for a proposal that has different packages. Alright, so this one has different packages. So we select the basic one, or if we select this, it has different prices, and they all have extras as well. So if I click on here, this increases the price. So now I can easily just and right below that again I see the review. She has no review, that's why this place is empty. So here I see other proposals offered by Patricia, and I see the recently viewed proposals. This section right here is just to convince, convince buyers that the platform is secured, and the platform is actually secured. So that's why we added this section right here. So if we click on how it works, it just kind of gives the seller a kind of brief overview of how everything works. It gives buyer's perspective and seller's perspective. So let's go back to the proposal page. And let's let's order this proposal. So let's do this. Should we, oh, actually do 10. Okay, so let's go ahead and pay. So once you order, you receive a fancy loader here, and this takes us to the page. So let's reply to get it started. So yep, we have a countdown because it's 1 day. Alright, that's it with the proposal page. The last thing I would like to show you guys is actually the second to the last thing is customer support page. Now I know I kind of showed you guys this already, but I just want to explain more of that. In order to access this page, you have to be logged in. So we built it in a way that the user has to be actually logged in order to access this page. So if a seller is logged out, let's go for example, let's click on log out. I will click on customer support. So it does say you can submit. So we do have to be, and the reason we did that because some of the customer support requests right here are mostly based with the user's account, and mostly based with helping the user in maybe an order. There's a dispute over between the buyer and the seller on an order and all stuff like that. So the admin actually will need more information about that buyer or seller in order to proceed with trying to figuring out what happened. And the way to do that is by actually having the user submit that request after the user is already signed in. So, and the different items here are different. So order support, review removal, and account support, all these have to do with actually these two have to do with the order. So if we click on here, we're gonna see it's gonna show us, reveal a menu that has this order number and user role. However, if we choose an item like report a bug, so this has nothing to do with the order number, so it's just gonna show this. So that's kind of how this item works. And you have to, in order to submit, you're gonna have to click on the Google reCAPTCHA, and you configure this in the back end. The Google reCAPTCHA is really easy. Okay, so now the last thing I would like to show you guys is the knowledge bank. So now items are being loaded into the knowledge bank from the back end. So the how to login title, the become a seller, all these items are being added from the admin panel, and the articles under these titles are also added in the admin panel. So this is just always good for people who purchase a script to load this up with different tutorials and different ways users can actually go about using their script. So if you click on an article on the bank, like we clicked on creating an account, and it just says just click on sign up. And if a user is not still happy with that, the user can just click on contact us. So let's go back, and it has a powerful search bar too. So if you click on account, so it brings out the search results for account. So guys, we just did like a brief overview of like the entire website. I know maybe there were some times where I wasn't explaining certain items perfectly, and that's just because I was trying to get everything together, get everything explained in this one video. So if you have any more questions, please just contact me, and I'll explain more about it. But I hope this video really touched on some of those answers that you guys are looking for. So again, I do recommend that you do test out the script thoroughly, because there are a lot of things that it can do. There are some places where we saw a few broken links. Those broken links are not actually in the script you get once you purchase the script, and those broken links are just because once we do our work on our local host environment and transfer it online, sometimes we some links break because the files are not available once we send them online and stuff like that. But this was a brief overview of the front end website. If you do purchase the script and you want certain things changed, you want a certain kind of modification or whatever, just let us know and we're gonna work at that. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and demo the admin panel. So we're just gonna go to the admin panel. So this is the admin panel. So we're gonna go ahead and log in. So once this login, we kind of see like different items related to the entire script. So we know that there are 104 users, there are 100 active orders, and we have 4 support requests that we have to handle. Here we have one proposal pending approval. So basically someone created a proposal and we have to check the proposal and either approve it, request for more modification, or decline it. Right here we can access these items fast. Like right here it shows that we have 4 open support requests. It's probably good that we handle this as soon as possible and stuff like that, and we have to approve this and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and go now to general settings. I'm gonna run quick through the admin panel, and I'll just like you guys to test it out because there's just a lot you can do with the admin panel. So right here you can add items like the site keywords. This is good for SEO, the site title and all that kind of stuff. Then here you can decide if you want to have an image logo or text logo. So we chose an image logo. So this section right here, this is a site email logo. So now one thing I didn't mention was that the site receives emails for pretty much everything. Once you receive a message, once you receive a decision from the admin, whatever you receive, there's always an email for that. And right here I kind of just opened a few emails. So this is when Pat received an email from Jess, and he can just click on this and view the email. Right here, this is when Alex created a new proposal, and right here, this is when admin sent Pat to do some more modifications on his proposal. So yeah, so this logo right here, this is the logo that appears right here. So it can be anything. You can change it. It doesn't have to be the exact same logo as the one on your website, but that's all up to you. So right here, you add more information. This is where you put the recapture site key and stuff like that. It is where you put your JW player code and all that. So again, getting the key is very easy. So now I did talk about how some items, let's go to the home page, how the different levels are based on the different orders and the different ratings sellers have had, and this section how is based on the number of orders and the number of ratings these proposals have had. All these items are actually configured here. So a level 1 completed orders is if that a seller goes to level 1, if that seller so basically if that seller has 1%, everything here is actually easy. Once you read it, you just kind of understand. So if you have 10 orders, and basically you have to fill in all these criteria in order to become a level 1 seller or a level 2 seller or a top rated seller. So those kind of stuff. So this is actually where you configure that part. So this is where you decide if you want to manually approve proposals. So people create proposals, and once they create proposals, they come to the admin first, to approve it, to either approve it or request for more modifications. If some admins don't want to do that, they can just hit no. Then once a seller creates a proposal, it automatically becomes accepted and becomes live on the website. I do recommend that most admins set this to yes, just to manually go through a proposal before it's approved. Section right here is once people create an account, they receive like an email, so this section right here, if you want people to receive an email to confirm their email, if you want people to receive an email to confirm their email, then you set this as yes or you set it as no. Then if you want to receive like how we received this email right here, Alex has created a proposal. If you as the admin wants to receive emails when anyone creates a proposal, you can just leave this to yes. Then all the rest are self-explanatory. So basically you're allowing that users can share a certain unique link and have other people sign up to the platform and get $5. So now autocomplete. So this is where you decide, if once an order is delivered, if the seller delivers an order and the buyer doesn't, complete that order right away by rating the order, how many days do you want that order to autocomplete? So this is where you decide that. So that's a little bit about the general settings. The layout settings just kind of, you change different things in the front end website. The payment setting, this is where you actually, set a different payment methods, as well as, set items like, the commission percentage, days before someone can actually withdraw money. So basically within these days the money will be pending as clearance, like I showed you guys earlier. So if we go on here, go to revenues, and this is pending clearance because it's within that 6 days. I also explained that once someone passed an order, and the seller delivers that order, and the person and the seller delivers that order and the person doesn't rate that order right away, so within that time plus the 6 days, that's what is considered as pending clearance. So and you can set up a minimum withdrawal limit, and you can set a proposal listing fee. You can set so this is for this section right here is for featuring a proposal. How much do you want users to pay in order to feature the proposals, and for how many days? And this is just for the processing fee. So all this stuff are pretty much easy to figure out, so you can just go through all of them. So application update. So basically each time we're gonna release an update. So we're serious about making this the best freelance marketplace ever. So we're always gonna be releasing updates, and we make it very easy to update your script. So because all you gotta do is just click on this application update place, go to the page, and there'll be a section here where you can upload the file. Obviously we disable this just for security reasons. So there are other stuff like so once you get new proposals, this is where you actually decide if you want to approve that proposal. So right here you can see pending approval. So basically this guy created an proposal, and you can easily decide to approve that proposal, preview it, or you can submit for modification. So if we preview this proposal and we don't really like certain things about it, we're gonna click on submit for modification, then give a reason right here, or we can approve it. So right here, these are the different places where we receive the different reports. So basically if I go to say this, actually this is my own. Let's look for another proposal. So say we go to Jess. Right here we have a section called report. So if we click on this and we send it to the admin, this is gonna appear right here, proposal report. So if we do it in the message and the order, I showed you guys how you can do that there. This is just gonna appear in this sections right here. So that's so as you can see, we clicked on proposal reports and we discovered that someone reported this, and the reporter was Tyrone, and this was a proposal and this was the reason, and the person didn't really write any content, or the person did, it said not original. And so yeah, so once we handle this case, we can now delete it. So now you can actually monitor everyone's conversation on the system. So admins can actually monitor everything. So an admin can just click on here and just kind of go through and see what people are talking about. So oh, sorry. Again, like I said, some of the links on the website are just broken just because we uploaded from our local host. So now let's go now to reviews. Admins can set reviews, admins can view reviews. This is probably gonna help the admin make better decisions once there's a dispute, and the admin can filter it based on buyer reviews and seller reviews. So buyer request, again, Patricia submitted a buyer request, and you can either the admin can choose to approve it or decline it. So in categories, we have subcategories, we have the different delivery times. I showed you guys a place for that. We have the different seller languages that you can insert. So this just shows the different languages that sellers can choose to have, and either choose to. So these two sections right here, I'm going to show you guys real quick. So right here. So this is where you fill in the information for that section. So you fill it here, the seller languages and the seller skills. So yeah, you can add as many delivery times as you want here, and it shows in the appropriate section. So this section right here is for the customer support. So I showed you guys how to get to customer support, how you can click on customer support right here and send customer support. So right here you have a couple options. You can you have the support settings where you put the information right here, especially if the user is not signed in yet. So let's go here, and we can now go here and see the different support requests. So now we can click on it. Right now it shows open. We can click on it and read more about it, so the user, there's more information here about the actual thing, and we can actually download the file and stuff like that. And once we've solved this, we can easily just type close, and we close that case, and that disappears. So you can also filter it based on the different things here, based on if it's a report a bug or remove a request and all that kind of shows up here. That updates the number here. But actually you cannot. It just shows you the number, and then you can just click on it and then try to help the user. So right here, this is where you actually add coupon codes. You can view all the coupons on the site right now. Like the one we tried was demo, and it takes off 10%. So this is kind of where you see it, and it shows that it's been used 4 times. So it kind of records the number of times a coupon code is being used. So if we want to add a coupon code, we can hit add new coupon, and here we choose the coupon. Coupon title, we can choose if we want a discounted percentage or fixed price, then write that over here. Then write the coupon, the actual coupon code, choose the limit, leave it empty if you want it to be. Here we have, we gotta choose a particular proposal that we want that coupon code to apply in. So here we choose the proposal. Then once we're done, we create the proposal. So sometimes sellers might contact the admin to create a proposal for their create a coupon for their proposal, and this is where the admin can do it. So we have other items like the slides, and these are actually the slides on These are the slides on the home page when you're logged out. If you want to change the slides for the page when you're logged in, we go to layout settings. Oh, actually, I missed. So this right here is for the slides when you're logged out, so your landing page slides. The slides when you're actually logged in are these slides right here. This one, and you can edit it just by clicking, and you can add more, but just by clicking that, and you can add a URL to the slides. Just as you can do the same thing as well for this one. You can either add this right here, you can update this or change this, change the text on there. Then for the proposal cards, we can actually change that from here. So just by clicking on add new card, and if we click edit, we can actually access the one that is there right now. Alright, so that's about the slides, and this terms and conditions page, we can add as many, and I forgot to show you guys where we can access that. We can actually access that here, terms and conditions. So this item right here, and we can filter it, and we can add more to this menu right here just by going to the terms and conditions. We can view all the ones that are there right now. We can edit them, or we can add a new one. You can add a new one, and it's just gonna load here. So now let's go now to all users. So here we can see all users on the platform. So here we see there's just one top rated seller, which is Pat. We see no level 2 sellers, we see 4 level 1 sellers, and we see 99 users, so new sellers. So we can do a couple of things. We can actually we can check out the user details. So let's actually go to the last page. We can actually check out the user details for some of these sellers. So if we click here and we click on user details, so this opens up a place where we see more about that seller. Again, this just gives you more information, especially when you're dealing with like a dispute. So this gives you everything about this seller. It gives you the number of proposals this seller has, the ones that are active. Then it gives you a little bit about how much this seller is earning and all that. So in this page right here, we can actually also do more. We can also block or ban this user. So if we block this seller, then the sellers, all the sellers' proposals will disappear from the live website. So we can also log in as this seller. So right now we're logged in as, let's try to log in as Tyrone. So we can log in as Tyrone, and we don't require any kind of login username or password. So we can do this when we're trying to do more, we're trying to help a case, and we just kind of want to see what's going on a seller's profile, or a user's profile. So we can actually log in for that user and just do more debugging. Okay. Okay. So now view orders. So now here we can find all the orders on this platform. So we can actually, click on an order to know more about the order. We can see that we have 100 active orders, 38 has been completed. So this just gives you more information about that. And we can easily see an order by just clicking on order details. And again, the admin has the power to manually cancel an order. We can click here and see more of the order live. So again, the admin has the power to cancel an order. So the admin just needs to do this, and the admin then gets to cancel that order. So take for example, the admin is trying to find an order. The admin just needs the order number, and the admin can just place that here and just filter, and that brings up the order, and the admin can now do whatever he or she wants to do with it. Alright, so this section now shows this is for withdrawers. So basically if we go to so if we go to revenues, so all these items, once a seller withdraws, it has to, it goes to the admin panel. So right now we're still working on this, so it doesn't really show the numbers right now, but after this video I'm gonna fix this. So technically it has to show every withdrawal on the system. So now let's go now to view referrals. So here we see all the referrals on the system, and again this has a little bug that I need to fix. So the view referrals and the withdrawals will be fixed in in an hour from now. So now all the other parts are self-explanatory, like for the knowledge bank, this is actually where you add more categories, you add more articles. So basically it's just as easy as, we've clicked on the articles, which are the different titles, and let's actually go to that page. So the different titles are right here, so the different categories, and we can choose if we want them left or right. Then we can choose if once we're adding our articles, once we're inserting our articles, so we can now choose what category we want that to fall on. So if we want it to be active, we want it to fall on whatever category we've talked about. And these are the different images, if we want an image on the top, bottom, or right section. So now the next one is languages. So now I didn't really talk about this yet because I was getting to that point, but you can actually you translate the entire website. So basically if I log out from here, and I choose this in French, so this just translates the entire website. And the way you do that is actually from the admin panel. So again, this is not gonna show because we disabled this functionality for security purposes, but all you need to do is once you add a language, so once you add the language title and you insert the language flag, and once you do that, it automatically adds to this list. Then you click on settings to actually translate the different items on the website. This doesn't show now just because it's disabled. So we left it on, and a lot of people were changing the default translation. So that's kind of how we left it disabled for now. So right here you can actually see that you can add as many admins as you want, and this section kind of just shows you an admin log. So once you have many admins, you can actually see a log of the different things the admins did. Alright guys, this was like a really brief summary of the entire GigToDo script. Now I might have touched on some things a little too more, or I might have touched on certain things less, but I was just trying to base some of my my explanation on the number of requests I got, the number of questions I got. But I really hope that this actually helped answer a lot of the questions that you guys have. And if you guys purchase this script and have anything, like if you want some kind of modification, if you want something changed, a feature added, and so on and so forth. We actually do take modifications, because I know a lot of people have been asking if we do modifications here. We do, and we're working on a couple of customer scripts right now. So if you have any questions, have any modification requests, you can just always reach out to us on our website, and we'll get back to you. Well, thanks for watching, and